The main goal of the Swara is to improve the maternal and child nutrition, increasing access to and consumption of locally produced nutrient-dense and diverse food through homestead food production. And Suhara programs implemented in the 41 districts out of 75 districts of Nepal. And out of 41 districts, 14 districts had implemented the HFP component across the districts, and 25% of DAG BDCs for remaining 27 districts has implemented the HFP component for other those districts, remaining districts. And what components includes under the HFP, homestead food production intervention, and then the Suhara programs distributed some seasonal seed, and then sticks distributed, and then supported for the improved vegetable gardening, like fencing techniques through the village model farmer, and then they supported for those to develop the improved vegetable garden, and they create the homestead food production beneficiaries groups, and those women and then the beneficiaries encouraged to participate in this group. And then technical support from the Suhara staff and then other partner NGO staffs for the site visits and site coachings for this HFP component, as well as other component which I already mentioned here. And then the agriculture and livestock training was provided for the beneficiaries groups and during the program intervention of the Suhara program for the HFP component. The main objective of this paper is examining the association between participation in Suhara homestead production, food production activities and dietary diversity among mother and young children in rural Nepal. This study was conducted in 2014 to 2015 for some season. Particularly this is a monitoring survey, and there is included in this survey participants all the beneficiaries of the Suhara programs. So this is a monitoring data. So monitoring data collected seasonally among beneficiaries of the Suhara HFP component, not for all Suhara beneficiaries, only for HFP component. And RIDA International, which was an external research firm, was collected data across the 3 seasons, dry, winter, rainy, across the 3 seasons. And NHRC ethical approval was taken, and the total 2929 sample was collected from the 3 seasons, but here is a dry is a little bit less number of sample size because we had applied a stratified multi-stage cluster sampling technique to select the cluster and the household levels, and we stratified into 4 strata on the basis of the program intervention region, like Eastern, Western, Midwestern, and Far Western region. We have categorized 4 categories, and in the Western clusters we have some Tarai region districts, but we didn't include these strata in the first dry season because of the immaturity of the intervention at that period in the dry seasons. So here is a less sample in the dry seasons, and we have selected 11 households to interview from a cluster. We consider a cluster in BDC were considered clusters, and we selected using probability proportion to size for those clusters and systematic random sampling technique we use to select the household for the beneficiaries. And descriptive statistics and multivariate regression analysis was done to examine the association between HFP participation and the maternal and child dietary diversity controlling potential confounding factor. Who are the participants? The average age of the mothers was 27 years, and about 80%, 79% were literate, and they are living together with 6.5 family size, and the average income of the beneficiaries' household in month is 15,000 about, and 36% household have any one person's in a labor migrant in abroad, and we had collected the data from covering the 17% household from the Dalit community, which is socially discriminated and then disadvantaged group in Nepal, and 81% households cover from mountain regions. I want to focus here in the Nepal, mountain, hill, and Tarai, three regions, but most of the HFP component was intervened in the mountainous region and then as well as Tarai regions too. And then and here is the high prevalence from the mountainous region, so 81% cover from mountain region. And then the access to market is less, in an average, less than 2 hours. Here is 110 minute. Those beneficiaries are attended to, 87% were attended to training, and 69% is planted received seeds, which was distributed by Swara, and then having received seeds is 57%, and then improved garden managed by 35%, and so on. This is the participation status of the beneficiaries in the HFP component. Regarding the consumption, we gathered the information on the basis of 7 days food frequency, and then categorize in the maternal and child dietary diversity, and we calculate out of the 10 groups on the basis of the newly recommended group from WFP, 10 groups, and then on the basis of these 6.9 average dietary diversity score was calculated for maternal and 5.5 for child out of 7 food groups. And in the HFP component, we focus to produce the green leafy vegetable and chicks and egg production, like this type of things. We already sex distribution and then vegetable seed distribution as the main components. So the dark green leafy vegetable, vitamin-rich dark green leafy vegetables, 91% women were consumed during the survey, and then in the past week of data collection, and then 86.9% child are consumed the dark green leafy vegetable. And regarding the eggs consumption, about 50%, 49% women were consumed, and then 58% child were consumed eggs, and fresh food is 74% women and 63% child are consumed. And then the common staples and the beans are commonly used in their consuming pattern in the last 7 days. We examined the association between HFP participation and then consumption of the food or dietary diversity score, and maternal dietary diversity and child, I'm saying here in the young child, 6 to 23 month child, of the dietary diversity is positively associated with participation of HFP component, and controlling the potential confounders, woman's age, education, household size, number of children under 5 years, migrant labor status, income, household caste, access to market, agroecological zone of residency, and seasonality, we cover the data from the 3 seasons, so also control the seasonality, and child sex for child dietary diversity. Controlling these factors, the HFP participation is positively and significantly associated with dietary diversity. In conclusion, the degree of HFP participation or HFP activity participation and maternal and child dietary diversity has significantly and positive association in the context of rural Nepal and a large integrated nutrition program, Suhara. And homestead food production may be one important component for a multi-sectoral nutrition approach. Potentially pathway includes production, consumption, and income. And this studies also suggest for the further rigorous studies are needed to further analyze the impacts of agricultural programs on maternal and child nutrition. At the end, these findings and this association was calculated almost in the midterms, a bit more than midterm of the program intervention. So it is not the enough interventions. This is from the seasonal monitoring as a program monitoring component of the program monitoring data. So we found in this level at that time, between the association of the HFP intervention component, participants of HFP intervention, and then dietary diversity. So it is not the final or the final things of the programs. This is from the midterm or like monitoring data, but which is associated with others. Thank you.